Hooray for Hollywood! Hello there, Stan the Movie Man with your WIMC.com movie review this week. Well, it was such a close vote between the two new films coming out this week that I decided to go see both of them. What the heck, it's a weekend, I can do what I want. And I went to see both Hereafter and also Paranormal Activity 2. Let's start with Hereafter first. It's the story of a man played by Matt Damon who is a psychic. He touches people's hands and he is instantly connected to the people around that person who have already died. He's able to pass messages to the living from the dead. It's also the story of three people who he comes into contact with. The first is Bryce Dallas Howard, who is a woman he meets at a cooking class. There's also a French TV news person who nearly dies in a tsunami, and a little boy whose twin brother is killed when he's hit by a truck. The movie isn't really so much about Damon's character as it is about how these peripheral characters deal with death. To a lesser extent, that's Bryce Dallas Howard's character doesn't really fit that, but that's beside the point. Most of the movie is about how these peripheral characters deal with the death of their loved ones or their own near-death experience. Not so much about Damon's character and what he does. And the film finally, near the end, sort of puts all these people together for the most part. The problem is that for a film about life after death and how we feel about our lives after a near-death experience, this movie has no life whatsoever, with the exception of when Bryce Dallas Howard is on the screen with Damon. Then it actually kind of comes to life because she is a very enjoyable, lively character, but she's not in the movie that much. And when she's gone, when she's not there, it really drags. It's really sort of a navel gazer kind of movie, if you know what I mean. It's really trying to be introspective, and it just comes off as, well, quite frankly, boring, which is a bit of a surprise for a Clint Eastwood directed movie. I'm only going to give it 2 guitars. I just did not think it was very good. Now, on to Paranormal Activity 2. Of course, the sequel to the no-budget blockbuster from last Halloween. And it is a very similar film to that first effort. A young blended family, a woman, her new husband, their new baby, and his teenage daughter from a previous marriage. Very nice suburban home in California. They bring home the baby. Weird things start to happen. Their house gets trashed. And the only thing taken is a necklace that belonged to the woman's sister, who just happens to be Katie from the first Paranormal Activity. We are given some more background about this family, Katie and her sister. We are given also a fair number of frights. The film isn't quite as good as Paranormal Activity. Maybe there's too many people involved in this one because there was just really the two main characters, Mika and Katie, in the first film. And here we have a more extended family, including a family dog. It's not quite the brilliant film that Paranormal Activity was, but Paranormal Activity 2 is pretty good. It's got a fair number of scares in it, and we also get a more fleshed out story about the sisters and this thing that's following them. I enjoyed it pretty well. I, again, would suggest seeing it with a bunch of people to make it a kind of a group experience. The theater I was in was not that well attended, and you know, I really would have preferred about a half full house. This wasn't even a quarter full, but it's still funny to hear people scream and then laugh at themselves after they scream from the thing on screen. So it's an enjoyable experience. Take a bunch of friends, try to go to a full show, because I really think that adds to the experience. I'm giving Paranormal Activity 2 4 guitars. Go to WIMZ.com to read my complete reviews of these two films, as well as to vote on the movie that I will see next time. If you have any questions, feel free to send them to me at stanthemovieman@att.net. You can also follow me on Twitter at MovieManStan. Till next time, happy Halloween! Boo! See ya!